child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look.
Oh no.
No, not the side eye.
Oh no!
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Oh, they cut him off.
This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Come on, good. Bring it
However,
back. This is a good one. This is a good one for the Democrats. Come on, Joe. Don't f this up, Joe.
Stop the fact.
To abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it.
The vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help.
He said him as a doctor. He's not woke.
Do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in.
You're talking about abortion, man.
Here's the deal. There's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws,
short-circuiting,
by their spouses, brothers and sisters. It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. Considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world.
He said immigrant rapists, victims need abortions.
There are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
Ban?
President Trump.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president.
But you did.
Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history.
Now
we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in caravans.
Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000
Yo, get ready for the dick riding. Get ready for the dick riding.
Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward. Which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages.
That's not an answer. You're just repeating the deal that he's saying no to.
Ceasefire with additional conditions.
The question is, what will you do to pressure him?
The end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas.
Israel and Hamas. Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
What the f was that?
Foolishness. This is the guy who wants.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people.
He encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. But he went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases. Scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
Oh, he said it!
And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that
you can tell his strong elements. Like you can tell when he's like invested. This is one of those things.
For
typical old man, doesn't give a shit about anything.
A whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant. I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
What?
Sir?
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Bro. I've never seen a bigger layup get flubbed so abysmally. Like, this is incredible. Banger after banger. They sent
He is too old. He's just actually too old.
No,
it's
literally.
Not like,
it looks
it's not
like
a perception problem.
It literally looks like he's trying to push the finish. Like, it looks like they are trying to push him through the finish line. Like, he's gonna die the moment that he's in office if he actually ends up like winning, which his chances are looking less likely after today.
Yeah, he needs to be president until he's 86. Like, he just needs to do that for some reason.
What the I mean, look, the expected thing was obviously the gyration session that we saw for Israel dick riding, and even then, like, that was whatever, right? They quickly glanced it. CNN's not going to cover it. They don't want to make up a big stink. However, the abortion question, that's a layup. They gave that to you, dog. You boofed it. He
literally his worst issue.
Rapist immigrants? Like,
bring up his worst issue of every issue. He has a 20% approval rating on immigration. Abortion is the sole issue that people trust him on.
And he turned it into the issue that he's like one of the weakest on, which is so insane. I've never seen such a absolute masterclass in how to genuinely just like flub clear-cut alley-oops. Oh my Lord, dude.
The only like silver lining for this is that people already thought Biden was like this to begin with, and he was already kind of competitive still. So, like, it might not change anything. Like, people already thought this was what he was like.
No, dude, this is not for those people, though. This is not for those people. This is for Pennsylvania voters. This is for voters in, like, Georgia. This is for voters in... These are for, like, the 20% that's still like, oh, I don't really like either candidate. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, you know, that's the reason why it's so early. The reason why they did this so early was because the Biden